Right, for the people that know me, don't fast forward, just hear me out, all right, because I'm going to explain to the people that don't know who I am. But don't go anywhere, don't fast forward. It is important. I'll tell you why in a moment. Now, I am the MacMaster and I own an electric car. I own a Porsche Taycan electric car, and recently it has been recalled because it's a fire hazard. Yes, Porsche sent me a letter. I'll very quickly tell you what that letter was. It basically said that they need it back to put some software on it to tell me and inform me if it's dangerous because it could short circuit, so it's going to have another recall. Now, on the initial letter, I'll put the link to these videos, by the way, in the description down below, and you can watch them again. In the initial letter it says don't park it near buildings or houses, etc. And I rang my insurance company and said, is that going to affect my insurance? I know, I was stupid, I shouldn't have done that. Anyway, couldn't get insured, so that's the long and short of it. I have got insured, but things now have got even worse, and they've taken a turn for the worst. Yes, first of all, my insurance now is astronomical. It's tripled, thank you very much, Porsche. And also, my neighbour has said, if I charge my car next to his house, basically at my house, then they'll take legal action. It's not quite as bad as that. We are good neighbours. We're very good neighbours. We're very good friends. But I'll explain it a little bit more. So what I need you to do for me is, because I'm fighting this crusade against the powers that be that are pushing to end internal combustion cars, petrol and diesel cars, and pushing for us to go into electric vehicles, even when we don't want to. Now, I'm not saying don't get an electric vehicle. If you want an electric car, for some people it works. Pootling around town, absolutely fine, brilliant. But on a day-to-day basis, it doesn't work. And once they've got us into electric cars, then all hell's going to break loose, because basically they're going to tax us, they're going to stop freedom of movement, etc., in my opinion. So it goes from there. So do me a favour, hit the subscribe button. It pushes this video out to YouTube and lets people know the reality of electric car ownership. I'm telling you it from my point of view, and I own an electric car. It's in the driveway, can't get it out. By the way, it's lost 3% of battery because it's so cold overnight. Anyway, without further ado, my friends, don't forget, hit the subscribe button and share this video. Let's show people the reality of electric car ownership. Now, without further ado, my friends, let's go. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button. Let's educate people on what electric car ownership is really like. Now, evangelists, as I like to call them, don't worry, I'm getting to the point of insurance, etc., and also about my neighbour. Evangelists will tell you that it's cheaper to run an electric car than it is a petrol or diesel. That is not the case. It might be if you're charging at home through Octopus Energy. For now. Until they bring in some tariffs, once they've got everybody, and they've dangled that carrot. It doesn't cost a lot less than a petrol or a diesel car. These cars cost more from the outset, and then if you're charging on public charging points, it costs a lot more. And believe me, there's a lot of waiting around. Well, I make my way up the road here because I'm going to the train station. I was charging the other night at Porsche South Lakes, and I was waiting around for ages. There was snow forecast, which the weather forecast was right, as we can see, and I was waiting around trying to get back from Porsche South Lakes at the Lake District down to Leeds before it snowed, and I was waiting around in the dark, and I filmed it. Here's what actually charging your electric car is like. So watch this while I make my way to the train station. Have a look at this. Well, this is basically what owning an electric car is like. It's now 8:43 in the evening. It's going to snow very shortly. I'm charging up my car at Porsche South Lakes. It says here it's going to be 9:36 by the time that it's finished. 50% charge now. I've been here for about, I'd say about 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Got 110 miles of range there. I'm hoping to get on my way. I'm trying to get down to Leeds. I'm sat here though in the car park, looking at some very nice Porsches out there. Some real ones with engines as well, which are nice. I'm sort of like, thinking maybe I should have that white 911 that I can see in the distance over there. Anyway, there we go. It's now 8:44 and we're still waiting around. Oh, and my Porsche charge card didn't work for some reason. I must have had it near my phone, so I had to get my phone out and do it through the app and scan a QR code and freeze my butt off. Now I've got to get another Porsche charge card. So, we'll be along shortly, hopefully. I'm just sat here waiting.
One eternity later.
Right, so it's now 8:51, as you can see in the top right-hand corner there. Charge time, 23 minutes 49. And we're getting 103 kilowatts out of it there. And I am freezing. But we've got a while yet. We're just waiting around. On the bright side, there's some nice cars here. See if we can find a nice petrol car, shall we? Got a nice Boxster there. We've got a nice 911. Well, I think we'll take one of those. And then over here, we've got some more Taycans, a Boxster, another Taycan. And over there, I think I'll take this one, which is a nice white 911. Just look at that. That's a beauty. Yeah, I am walking back to my Taycan that's still charging. This is ridiculous. I need to get back because it's forecast really bad snow, and the last thing I need is to be caught out in my electric car in the snow. I've been there before and it ain't a good place to be. So I need to get charged, fully charged, as soon as possible. This is the reality of owning an electric car. It's comical, isn't it? There we go. Just wait around. Right, we're at 72%. So I think once we're at 80%, then I'm going to call it a day and try and get back to Leeds then. I should have enough. However, I do need a wee, and there's no toilets here.
Eventually.
Right, we're now at 79%. It's taken half an hour now, I reckon. Come on, 80%. I'm getting cold. Come on. Give me 80%. Yes! Right, we'll stop charging. There we go. Now we'll take this out and pop that back. There we go. There we go. That's back. Okay. I will put on screen, I'm just going back to the car. Sorry for the shoddy camera work here. I've just got my mobile phone. There we go. 177 miles I've got there. I'd already got about 20 miles of range in it. I'll put on the screen here exactly what it's actually cost me. So you can see there what it's cost me to put about 150 miles of range in. And I'm still not at 100%. I'm not fully charged and it took half an hour. So there you go. Electric cars. The reality. It's not like they tell you on television or the government tells you. The reality is it's an absolute nightmare. You're stranded, sat around waiting for it to charge. Now I need to go and have a wee somewhere. Anyway, that's all from me. I'm going to hand you over to me again after this on another day. Anyway, you know what I mean. Back to me. Right, so in a previous video I told you that I couldn't get any insurance. I couldn't get house insurance and I couldn't get car insurance. Basically my insurance company wouldn't renew my insurance because I'd rung up, they'd actually got my phone number and could see that I'd spoke to them about my car being a fire hazard. Anyway, I did manage to get insurance. However, that is with a different company now and it's tripled. My car insurance has literally tripled from last year. So thank you very much, Porsche. I wonder whether you could actually reimburse me for that. And on top of this, it gets better because First of all, my ex-wife, Sharon, thanks very much Sharon, because she'll no doubt be watching, has basically sent me some text messages. And she's actually said, Lee, I'm not being funny, but I saw your video about your car and that it's a fire hazard and that you can't get house insurance. I want you to remove your car charger from my house as soon as possible. I don't want my house insurance affected by this. Also, I'd appreciate if you didn't park your electric car on my drive. Brilliant. So thank you very much. So when I go and see my daughters, Sharon, then I'm going to have to park it on the road. Now, my electric car charger was on the side of Sharon's house. You'll have seen that in previous videos. She wants me to remove that now and take it away, basically. I was going to do that initially and have it fitted at my house. But I thought, well, it's just as easy to actually put a new charger in at my house and leave that there for when I go and see my kids. But obviously Sharon wants me to move it. Now, also on top of this, my neighbours have now said to me, oh, Lee, not being funny, but we actually saw your video on YouTube. I mean, I'm basically digging myself a bigger hole here, aren't I? And they said, we saw your video on YouTube. We don't want to be funny, but we'd appreciate it if you didn't charge your car next to our house. Well, I said, well, that's fine, but that's at my house. And they was like, well, we're not being funny. We don't want to, you know, have to go and find out about legal action, etc., as to where we stand. And I thought, well, this is just absolute madness. So if my neighbours are watching, I mean, I'll do my very best not to charge my car next to your house until that is that Porsche have fixed the battery problem, etc. But where does that leave me legally, and where does it leave them legally? Maybe this is a job for the black belt barrister, but not just me, but for other Porsche owners as well who have the same problem. Where does it leave them legally? Are their neighbours then going to hold them accountable for charging their car next to their house in case there's a fire? And also, where does it leave the neighbours if, for instance, heaven forbid, that somebody's electric car catches fire and also sets fire to the house next door while it's charging, etc.? Where does it leave us legally, and where does it leave the neighbours legally? There's lots of different loopholes and different roads that we're going to have to go down here with electric cars. We're going into unknown territory here, and it could be an absolute mess. Anyway, come on, onwards. I've got more to tell you. Oh no, that's an absolute mess as well. Unbelievable. Anyway, I read on the forums, on the Porsche Taycan forums, lots of people taking their cars in. I took some screenshots of it as well, and they're actually taking the cars in, and the dealerships don't actually know what to do. This is what I've read on the forums. I'll read you a couple of the screenshots in a moment after I get somewhere dry. Right. So basically on one of the Porsche Taycan forums it says, booked in an appointment with Porsche Fremont after I got the ARB7 letter. And when I showed up, I was told that they don't even know what they're supposed to do yet. The letter isn't very clear. It seems like you need to bring it in. Then it says, for now, don't do anything, in a box on the side. And then it also says, how can I tell what version of OTA I might have, etc. And somebody says, I hope they replace mine with a Porsche 911. Yeah, I hope they do the same to me as well. Oh no, how am I going to get through that? I think I'm going to have to get myself a pair of wellies, I reckon. Let me get over here. In America, in Hoboken, you have to clear the sidewalks outside your house and your apartments. It's a legal requirement, otherwise you get sued from the council. Anyway, that's basically an update. So I've managed to get insurance 3 times the amount, just about 3 times the amount, give or take a few quid. Blimey, tripod's cold. But where does it leave me neighbours, etc.? I mean, morally, yay, morally, there's a taxi driver there, you could have given me a lift. Morally, are they right wanting to get legal advice to see where they stand if my car ignites while I'm charging my car. And are they right in saying and asking me not to charge my car next to their house? I'm friends with them, so they're absolutely fine, but I can see where they're coming from. Are they morally right? Is it right? Would you do the same thing? Do you have a neighbour that's got an electric car next door to you? And are you thinking the same thing? That you don't want them to charge their car next to your house in case it sets fire and your house catches fire as well. Anyway, so there we go. That is a little update for you. I've got insurance, 3 times the amount, but now my neighbour doesn't want me to charge my car at my house, and my ex-wife wants me to take the charger that was mine off of her house. I don't see as it would set on fire if it's not being charged, but who knows. Anyway, that is all from me today. Saying that though, there was a charger in a garage, I believe, in a car garage recently on the news that did actually catch fire, and I don't think it was charging. So Sharon, I'll try and get that removed for you. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button and share this video and show people the true reality of electric car ownership. Thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up and make sure you hit that subscribe button. That's all for now. I'm going to go and get the train. 130 grand car, and I'm going to go and get the train. See you later.